welcome to Caffeinated Cast-Ons. My name is Therese. I am the face behind Caffeinated Cast-Ons. Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm a North Texas-based knitter, and this is just my YouTube channel where I talk about my knitting projects, making, adventures. Think of this as a video version of Ravelry project pages. We have a lot to talk about today. It is Sunday, June? It is Sunday, September 21st. Clearly I'm tired. It is, I guess technically today's the last day of FiberFest. It ends like in 10 minutes. But I went to FiberFest this weekend and I am exhausted. I am so tired. I'll talk about that more later. But yeah, it's Sunday, September 21st, and this is episode 76 of Caffeinated Cast-Ons. So lots to go through today. No finished objects, but I've got some whips to take you through. I know you all have been waiting for an update on my Skyline Tee. If I cut into it, what's the update on that? If you went to FiberFest and you saw me, you know I did not finish it. But I'm gonna include some stuff for you here. So let's get into that. I am caffeinated. I've already had one latte this morning. I made myself another. This is just a single shot of espresso latte with oat milk. I think that's it. I'm so tired. Let's start with what you all have been waiting for if you've been following along. If you've been following along, you know that I have been working on my Q3 garment. This whole year I've been making one garment for myself a quarter, and Q3 is the Skyline Tee by Tori Yu of Tori Knits NYC. And in the process of knitting it, I was going to try to have it done for FiberFest this past weekend. I did not. There was like a clear line where I had switched from skein 1 to skein 2 in this more tonal type yarn, and I did not like that line. I wanted to go back and fix it. It was really bugging me. Typically it wouldn't, but I think just where I just didn't like it for this top. So it took me a while to put all of my stitches on a lifeline, and then I got up the nerve to cut it. So I'm going to put in footage here of me cutting into my knitting. So enjoy this clip of me hyping myself up and actually going through cutting my Skyline Tee. Hello. It is Thursday, June. It is Thursday, September 18th. I am filming this little bit because I wanted to be sure to include it in a regular episode, since an episode already came out this week and FiberFest is this weekend, and I just kind of wanted to update you on the progress before I do this. I am talking about my Skyline Tee really quick. If you've been following along, you know that I've been having some problems with the skein color change here. Going from skein 1 to skein 2, there is a color difference. And so what I wanted to do is cut into my Skyline Tee and then alternate skeins to do like a fade effect and blend skein 1 and skein 2. And then I will Kitchener it back together with the bottom half. So I was having trouble picking up stitches. So what I did is I found where I wanted to pick up stitches, and I counted 5 rows above that and 5 rows below that. And I marked it with light bulb stitch markers. And to make sure they were consistent, I counted stitches up from the bottom of the body. And then now I'm getting ready to actually cut into my Skyline Tee. I will put it actually on the needles after I cut because it's already on a lifeline, and I feel like once it's off the lifeline and I actually go to put my stitches on the needles, it'll be a little bit easier to work with, since there's not all this extra fabric hanging on and in the way. Okay, so hopefully you can see this a little bit, but I'm going to take my scissors here and just, I'm so nervous, cut straight into this. I'm going to cut closer to the bottom of this lifeline rather than the center to give myself more yarn to unravel back this way. I think that is the plan. Oh gosh, I'm so nervous. I don't want to actually cut this. Like, do I just actually cut all the way across? And instead of cutting both the front and back at once, I'm just going to stick my scissors in so it's like inside the body too, and I'll make my way around. Okay, here we go. I did it. Point of no return now. Oh my gosh. Like, you might as well just cut the whole thing. And I probably could have gone in with actual fabric scissors to do this, but this is what I had. I can't believe this. Okay, y'all, the cut is complete. I can't believe I just cut my knitting. Okay, so I should be able to pick off all the little ends and find an end, and it should unravel, and I should get back to that lifeline. And then here is the bottom. This top part is where I cut. I still have my live stitches on hold on the bottom of where I was knitting to the body length. I'm gonna put this aside for now. It's on its lifeline. I'm not concerned about getting this on the needles right away. But now, I can't believe it. I need to unravel this back so I'm actually at the lifeline. It's not super straight all the way around, but we will find where an end is. And I did it just below the armholes where I joined in the round. And I will meet you here whenever I join the skein and start fading. So stay tuned. Okay, so that was the clip, and then here it is in two pieces. It is a tangled mess a little bit. I've got a lot of ends going on and a lot of things, pieces doing lifelines, ends, all that stuff. Hang on. Is this attached to a ball? No. Yes, it is. Stand by. Okay, so this is my Skyline Tee in pieces right now. I have finished, find a better way to show this. So here's the lifeline. I have alternated skeins, I think for about 10 rounds. And to me, it already looks so much better. A little bit more of a blend in here between light and dark. And I believe I am ready to Kitchener this bad boy together. So I still have the bottom half. I just need to line this up and start the Kitchener stitch to attach this together. One thing I'll just need to keep in mind is not to do it too tightly. Usually the only time I do the Kitchener stitch is whenever I'm doing the toes of socks. And I want to make sure that is pulled tight so it doesn't unravel. Yeah, but I think I'm ready to Kitchener this together. I have my yarn that I'm going to do that with. And then I've still got a little bit left of another skein. I need to talk about the actual project. So as I mentioned, this is the Skyline Tee. I am knitting the size 4 in the pattern, and I'm knitting that on a US size 4 or a 3.5 millimeter. And then this is fingering weight yarn. This is by Plucky Knitter. And this is on the Primo fingering base, which is 75% superwash merino, 20% cashmere, and 5% nylon on the colorway Baby Love. Oh, focus. There we go. So, super excited that it's actually coming together. It was like really the biggest part was hyping myself to actually cut, and then just making sure I picked up the stitches the right way. Whenever I first put the lifeline in, I had realized that I had picked up my stitches going the wrong direction. I had picked up the left leg of the stitch rather than the right leg. So there was a good amount of stitches that were oriented on my needles wrong when I actually got them on my needles. And so I had to get those stitches switched around, and that was just a mistake that I forgot. So whenever you're picking up stitches, you need to make sure that you're picking them up in the direction that you knit the garment. I had laid my shirt flat just like this, like here's the top, and I had gone this way and picked up stitches. I did not knit the shirt that way. It was upside down because I'm knitting top down, and I made sure for the second lifeline I put in to knit that way or to pick up the stitches that way. So just a reminder for anyone picking up stitches, make sure you're doing it in the way that you knit the garment. So I feel in a pretty good place with my Skyline Tee, and I think I can get it done by the end of Q3, which is the end of September. So feeling confident so far. Again. My other whip is a pair of vanilla socks that I am knitting for a coworker. And I don't have a progress keeper on this so you can see where I was last time, because turns out I had knit the foot way too long. I made a mistake whenever reading a sock table, and I knit the foot way too long before the toe decreases. So I actually had to tink back, which is what I did with this project all weekend at FiberFest. Like any downtime I had, I did knit a couple rounds on my Skyline Tee. I ended up bringing that on Friday, and then Saturday, I don't think I brought anything. No, I brought this on Saturday. I just tinked back to make sure I could get this where I think the foot length is correct now. I need to have my husband try this on because he's about the same foot size to see if that works. But this is this is just a vanilla sock. It's a vanilla sock on 9-inch circulars by Kayla Litton from the Crazy Sock Lady. Stunning sock. I just can't get over this yarn. I am knitting this on a US 1 or 2.25 millimeter. And then I am working this magic loop now. I did have this on 9-inch circulars. When I thought I was at the toe, I switched to magic loop. I always do that with socks I'm knitting on 9-inch circulars. And then when I realized I'd knit too far, I didn't want to switch it back to 9-inch, although that probably would have been a faster tinking process. I just kept it on magic loop and tinked back that way. The yarn I am knitting this with is Miss Babs, and this is the Putnam fingering base, and it is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. There we go. And then the colorway is DFW, oh my goodness, focus. DFW Fiber Fest. Come on. And it is the this was the 2022 show colorway. I am so tired, y'all. FiberFest took it out of me. Yeah, so still on sock 1 on this. This one's going very slow and steady. I feel like once I get the first sock done, then the second sock I will breeze through, because I will know, I feel like I'll be in more of a rhythm. That's it for the projects that I have. I only have 2 things on the needles right now, and they're both kind of going a little bit slower than I'm wanting, but I feel like after this week, hopefully, they should begin to pick up. The remainder of this video, I've got FiberFest to talk to you about. I want to take you through a couple of clips. I didn't like vlog as much as I wanted to. On day 1, I recorded 1 clip, and it was literally like, I'm on my way, but then I realized the white balance was off, so it looks like I'm in Twilight. And then that's all I did. And I think I got a couple clips of bingo Friday night, and then that was it. I didn't get anything else Friday because I was so overwhelmed with just taking it all in. Saturday, I did get some more clips, and then that's pretty much it. I got like 0 pictures on my phone, but I do have yarn to take you through as well. So start with bingo. Bingo was fun. It was sold out this year. And I liked what they did for the prizes. You got vendor cash if you won that round of bingo. And then at the end, whenever we did, I think like the blackout and the rolling blackout rounds, there were some physical prizes besides like vendor hall cash. And I think if you weren't going to be there the next day, then you could opt for like a different, like a physical like take home prize. So it was pretty cool. I don't recall if we had the vendor cash as prizes last year. I think there might have been 1 or 2, because I know typically we'll do that for like a specific vendor as like a giveaway door prize, because I won one of those like my first year, and it was just a coupon that, or a voucher that you got. It's like you win a skein of your choice from like insert vendor name here. And so I know I've done that before. Yeah, but bingo was really fun. It was super late. I feel like last year it didn't start this late. I think it was like 7 to 9 last year. This year was 8 to 10. And let me tell you, that makes a difference. I was so tired at that point. Like, I'd been there pretty much all day, because I think I got there maybe just after 10 a.m. or just around 10 a.m. on Friday morning. And then I didn't leave until like 10 o'clock after bingo ended. So, but they did have snacks. I think they had like chips and dip, and then cookies, sodas, and then in our like little check-in bags, we got some gummy bears and like a Rice Krispie treat. But it was good. I think next year, if bingo is the same time, I might consider getting a hotel room, because especially since I commuted, I still had about an hour drive home, and so it was like well past 11 o'clock by the time I like washed my face, showered, and like crawled into bed, and I slept so hard. So that was day 1. And then day 2, this is where I got a lot more clips of the actual yarn that was there. There were so many good vendors this year. I saw Red Stag Fiber had gorgeous, like very moody tones. Twisted Ambitions had so many fun and bright colors. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember like exactly everything, where everything was there. I did not pay attention to the vendor map. I just went wherever. Like, me and my friends were just kind of trying to stay like going up at this aisle, down this aisle. But it can get so distracting, because whenever you see something, you're like, oh, how pretty, oh, how pretty. But there were just so many good vendors that had so many different yarns, bags, earrings, pottery, yarn bowls, embroidery kits. There was I think like a felting booth. Like, there was just so much. I was very impressed by the wide variety of booths that there were this year. I feel like it was a bit more, like, it's always been a good mix of different types of vendors. But I feel like I just noticed it a bit more this year. I did get to meet a few people. I did meet Lori from Arkansas Yarn Co. I'll insert a picture of us here. It was so fun to meet her. I got to give her a couple of the bracelets that I had made. And so we talked endlessly about her Tulsa tank that she made. She looked so cute in it. I stopped her without like fully like putting together who she was. I was like, oh, I love your tank. And then I was like, wait, oh my goodness, like you're Arkansas Yarn Co. And we just talked about the tank, the modifications, and how she knit, I think like 5. And she's like, you need to knit it and you're going to love it. And then you're going to also knit 5. So it was so fun to meet her and hear about her knits. And then I also met Lindsay from Always Yarn First, and I'll insert a clip of that here. Oh wait, there we go. Hello, I just ran into Lindsay from Always Yarn First at FiberFest, and I am so excited we got to meet in person.
And I got a bracelet.
Yes, she got a bracelet. I still have plenty of bracelets, so we'll see how many more I can get rid of today. But it's so fun to meet a Fiber friend in person. Yay! I met so many of you. Oh my goodness. There was one subscriber that totally made my day. Like, we were at a booth and I think she was walking away and I was walking up to the booth, or we were just trying to get by each other, like in the vendor hall. And she's like, oh my goodness, you're on YouTube. You're Caffeinated Cast-Ons. I was like, yes, I am. And her comment to me was the sweetest thing ever. She's like, this is my first time at DFW Fiber Fest. I watched all of your videos leading up to it. The tips and information are super helpful. Like, you have to do that again next year. And that just literally made my day. Like, that was so sweet and kind. One, that you watch, and 2, that this was helpful for you. That's really all I want to do, is make sure that I'm giving helpful information and stuff that I would want to know, and just pass it on, pay it forward. So it was so nice. I got to give so many of you friendship bracelets. I do have quite a bit left over, and so I am just going to save these for next year. To save myself a little bit of time for making them, but I'll definitely make more. But it was so fun. People loved the idea, and then I got a couple stitch markers too. Okay, now let's go through what I brought home from FiberFest in, oh my gosh, what episode was it? I think 72 or 73, I talk about my shopping plans for FiberFest and the projects that I was thinking about shopping for. And the project I ended up getting yarn for off my list was the Farnham sweater. So let me show you that yarn first. So I am a little surprised that the Farnham sweater is what I ended up finding yarn for. I was really unsure how many vendors' booths would have sport weight yarn, because I've never really paid attention to it, since typically I am buying fingering weight or DK weight, and those are just so super common that everyone has. I wasn't sure how many people would be carrying kind of those in-between weights like sport or Aran weight, or anything like that. But I did find some sport weight yarn, and this is from Wonder Luck Fibers. And this is the yarn combo that I got. My original inspiration for the Farnham tee was like a maroon burgundy main color with like a cream like skinny stripe. And I ended up finding, I kind of guess you could call this, I don't know, this isn't quite maroon. It's more of like a raspberry-ish color. Trying to find the best way to show this. And so I got 4 skeins of that. This is, what is this colorway? The Arconia on their Wonderluck Sport base, which is 100% American merino. And it has Shanico in parentheses. I'm not quite sure what that means. I'll have to look that up. I wonder if that's just relevant to the type of sheep. But this is 312 yards per 100 grams, and this is a 3-ply sport. So, and then that is their label. It got a little crinkled in my bag. So beautiful. So I got 4 skeins of this for the main color body, and then for the contrast color I ended up choosing this like gray silvery yarn on the same base, and then this is in the colorway White Walker. Isn't that a Game of Thrones reference? I'm pretty sure it is. I just realized that's upside down. So I am so excited about this combination. I am surprised, well, not surprised, but like I love that I branched out a little bit from like what in my head, how I envisioned it. Like I think this is gonna look so beautiful. I'm so excited. Like let's just put all the, like that's gonna look so good. And I can already see there's like a little bit of variation in the skeins, and so I think I will be alternating skeins for this as well. We'll see. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. But this is going to be a Farnham sweater. Okay, the next thing I got from FiberFest was a bunch of minis, and I got these. These are all 20 gram minis, and I got them. Actually, let me take this out of the bag. From Passion Yarns, and this is in Terre Haute, Indiana. There's a little information there. And then your purchase came with like a little progress keeper, so I can take that off. But I bought 3, 4, 5 mini skeins. 3 in this sage leaf color. And these are 20 gram minis. Aren't these so pretty? And these are a 75-25 merino nylon, just merino nylon blend. And then I got one in midnight blue. And then another one in mochaccino. What I love about these, I had never shopped Passion Yarns before. I see them there every year. Their booth is really great. I see them there every year. Their booth is great. But what I loved about these mini skeins, and I just don't know if I never realized or paid attention enough to it, but each mini skein was only $5. That is such a deal for a 20 gram mini. Typically the range I see is like maybe $7 or $8 to $10 to $12. So like on the higher end, $8 to $12 for a 20 gram mini skein. These were $5 a piece. That was the greatest deal that I saw as far as it comes to minis. And so I got all my minis there this year. They were more, I believe, tonal rather than like speckled and variegated. I wish I would have gotten some minis from Twisted Ambitions yarn. Their speckled ones were so good, but I had specific project plans in mind that I needed minis for, so I stuck to that rather than just like the impulse ones that would have gone into a blanket or just nothing with plans. I was very much trying to stick to planned projects this year. But this mini, the mochaccino, this is going to be the toe for my vanilla socks. So that's going to be fun. There's like definitely like hints of that color in the sock. And so I think the toe in that is going to be so fun. So this is going to be toes for that. And then this midnight blue, I am sending this off with our giveaway winner. I decided to hold off. Well, I didn't just decide. I asked our giveaway winner if they wanted to wait a little bit for me to ship off their giveaway so I could find some goodies at FiberFest to send along. And I thought this is going to be the perfect contrast color to send away with their skein. And then the sage leaf color this is going to be a contrast color in a project in the next yarn I'm going to show you. So I'll just hold this color in your mind for a second. And then Passion Yarns always has like free, I think this, or like 3 to 5 grams, probably. Just like little samples of a bunch of different colorways. And I just grabbed this white speckled one this year. I think I've grabbed like a blue and purpley one. They have a whole mix of like endless possibilities. And they're just free samples. And so I always take one every year so I can add that to my magic knot ball. This next yarn that I'm going to show you, I am super excited about. This was not a yarn I was expecting to see, find, and fall in love with, let alone purchase. And because I did not have a project plan for it, but it spoke to me and I literally could not resist. And I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera. But I stopped over at the Fangirl Fibers booth, and she has great stuff every single year. But whenever I saw this yarn, like my jaw dropped. Like, I don't know how many times I went into her booth to look at it, touch it, ogle over it, and I would put it back and like, oh, no, and then I would come back. I was like, you know what, I'll buy one skein. Like, I have to buy one skein, and I did. And I came back, like, and then that was Friday, and then I could not stop thinking about it. And then so Saturday I was like, I'm gonna go back and get more because I cannot stop thinking about it, and I will figure something out because I want to do this yarn justice. And my friend bought another skein too. We bought all the skeins in a colorway, essentially. Let me just show you the yarn. I don't know how well. See, it's not doing it justice. But this is Fangirl Fibers, the Gilmore Girls collection, which is ironic because I've been talking about how the show Gilmore Girls is not my favorite. But this is a new, I want to say it's a new base, but it's 90% superwash merino, 5% stellina, and 5% acrylic neps. So the neps are the little multicolor, like little puffs. And the stellina, I don't know if you can tell, but it is multicolor. There is orange, there is blue, there is pink. Like, it is so beautiful. And this is on the colorway Kim's Antiques. I bought 2 skeins. My friend bought 1 skein in the same color, but I think I'm either going to buy it off her or she said she might gift it to me. I'm going to get my hands on that 3rd skein. I could make a cumulus blouse with this, and that was my original plan once I knew I wanted more skeins. And then this would be the I-cord around the bottom of the body and the sleeves and everything. This would be the I-cord detail on the cumulus blouse because there are some blues in there that just aren't being picked up the best on the camera, but like, how fun is that? Oh my gosh, like, we literally couldn't stop talking about this yarn the whole time. We bought so much of it between me and my 2 friends that went, because I think I bought 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think we bought like 12 skeins between all of us, like. And she was like, yeah, we're getting more of that base because I think FiberFest was like them testing out like how people would take to that base because it's so hard to photograph. Again, it's so hard to really pick up all that shimmer and color on camera. Like, it's really not doing it justice, but it is just so stunning. And she had so many different colors. There was pinks, greens, oranges, like purples, blues, like, oh, so good. I am so excited to knit with this. And then the last purchase that I made, at FiberFest were these stickers from Euphoria Knits. They say coffee makes knit happen. And I thought that was the perfect sticker for Caffeinated cast-ons. So I bought one for our giveaway winner and then one for myself because I thought that was the cutest little sticker. And it fits perfectly with the vibe over here. So that was my FiberFest haul. So I do have projects planned for everything that I bought. I feel like I did a great job just going in with a plan. It definitely helped, but once I kind of let go of my plan and kind of chucked off my Farnham tea out of my brain, I could really see like what else was calling to me rather than just being zoned in on I need to find this yarn for this project. And I'm really glad I just like kind of let go on day 2. Day 1 was like here, plan project day. And then day 1 was like plan project day. Day 2 was like, let's just see what's speaking to me. And if I can think of something to make with it or something like that, then I will go ahead and purchase it. So it was so much fun. Let's see. Did I talk about goals? Goals for this week. Kitchen on my Skyline Tee. I would like to start the toe on my vanilla sock. Maybe we'll start a new project. I'm kind of itching to cast on that yarn from Mama Just Knits. I think I'm going to make a musselburgh with that blue yarn. It's going to be so stunning. Or maybe I'll cast on something else. I don't know yet. Reading, I'm currently reading Still Me. It's the 3rd book in the Me Before You series. That one is going a little bit slower just because work has been so busy and I've been so tired. So I'm slowly making my way through that one. And something interesting, I think Libby just updated how their holds work. Like whenever it's your turn and there are still people waiting in line. I don't fully understand it. I know a lot of people are kind of upset. I think it's created longer wait times for some people and then shorter times for others. I'm just going with the flow, okay? I started watching House. So that's kind of like my show that I'm watching knitting right now. I took a little bit of a Gilmore Girls break and wanted something a little bit different. So I'm watching House right now, starting from season 1 and working my way through. Listening, I am still listening to the current season of Something Was Wrong. I don't know how many more episodes are left. I need to look into that. But I've been listening to that. I think that's all I have to talk about. I really want to take a nap because I am so tired from FiberFest. It was so much fun. Like, I don't know. So let's wrap her on up with 3 simple joys. Simple joy number 1. Meeting subscribers. It was so fun to meet you guys in person and just to either shake your hand, hug you, or just say hello, wave hello. It was so nice. Simple joy number 2 was seeing Fiber friends. And these are friends that I typically see every year at FiberFest, and that's really the only time we get to see each other in person. And one of my friends that I saw, like, I was in kind of like outside in the main area before you go into the vendor hall, and we saw each other and we just like ran and embraced each other. And it was so nice to see her. And then I saw like a former knitting teacher that I had from a class that I took out in McKinney Knittery. Like, it was so good to like just squeeze my yarny people and hold them close, and it was so fun. And then simple joy number 3, and this is so random. At lunch on Saturday, some friends and I went to the Thirsty Lion, which is a pub not far, like in the area of FiberFest. And I asked for ranch for my fries, to dip in my fries, because I got a burger and fries. It was the best ranch I've ever had. I don't know what was in it. Like maybe peppercorns, something garlicky, scallions probably. It was the best ranch I've ever had, and it was so good. So random, but I was like, this is the best. The fries are really good, and just like sharing that, like the lunch with my friends, it was so nice. I'm getting a little delirious. I need to recover and just like clean up the madness from FiberFest. So thank you so much for watching. It made my whole weekend just to meet. My son just woke up. It was great to meet you. I'm so glad. I gotta go. Until next time, stay caffeinated.